Hi guys, this is Tracy with Inside Pool Magazine. As you know, I've been on a mission to gather as many children as I possibly can and put them on this podcast so they can speak their truth, which is these kids are playing like grown adults. I have several children that have contacted me with Fargos that are crazy. Our next guest tonight is Mr. Dylan Whitlock. He plays out of a pool room out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, called SMOKIN Aces. If you guys have not heard of SMOKIN Aces, oh my gosh, this place puts on one heck of a tournament, usually in January. But because of COVID, there has been restrictions going on and off, so they haven't put this tournament on in at least 2 years that I'm aware of. But I'm pretty sure Kevin Hudson is working on getting that tournament back on track. You have fantastic players such as Rob Siaz that plays out of that area during that tournament. Sky Woodward has been seen over in that area. Jonathan Hennessy. You also have young gun Shane Wolford. I believe he played out of there. Also Devin Poteet. He plays over in that area as well quite often. And I did a story on Mr. Vernon. If you check out my group page, Inside America's Pool Rooms, and scroll down to the bottom, you'll find Mr. Vernon's exclusive interview there. But let's not delay. Let's pull Dylan in here and let's find out a little bit about Dylan. So let's run that promo video, shall we?
Fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss fast facts, taking big swings.
Hi guys, hi Dylan, hi Crystal, hi Dennis, how are you tonight?
Doing good, how are you doing?
Fantastic. How's the weather over in Missouri? I heard you guys got a little bit of storms not a couple of days ago, I believe.
Yeah, it tried to storm a little bit today, but overall it was pretty nice.
Good. Well, Dylan, I heard from a little source that you play a little bit of pool. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you introduce yourself? Tell us how old you are, your pool room, and what grade you're in.
Dylan Whitlock, 13. SMOKIN Aces.
And what grade are you in right now, Dylan?
7th grade.
7th grade. Are you going into the 7th grade or you're
going into the 8th?
Okay, fantastic. Mom and Dad, how are his grades? Does he seem like he's doing okay in between these tournaments?
He does really good. He's A+. He's in math bowl, academic bowl. He's in beta, about every activity you could think of, and straight A's.
Wow. Wow. One proud papa, aren't you, Dennis?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys have any other children that play pool besides Dylan?
Our other daughter, Addison, she plays a little bit here and there, and then we're trying to teach our 5-year-old, but she's more scraping in the balls than she is playing just yet, but she's going to get there.
Oh, I'm sure she will. Once she figures out that she can actually make a ball or two, that'll put a fire under her for sure. For sure. So let's get a couple of questions in today. Would you like to tell us your school name, Dylan? Plug the school just a little bit. They like that kind of stuff.
Greenville Junior High.
Big shout out, guys. Thank you so much for providing the education for our young pool players. They definitely need it. Thank you so much, the state of Missouri. Let's see here. At what age did you begin your love of pool, Dylan?
Around 10.
Around 10. Mom and Dad, did you notice something different about Dylan versus the other kids?
He just wound up going with his dad because his dad plays pool for years, and he just picked it up and actually just picked it up kind of naturally, kind of just flowed with him and didn't have to do a whole lot of critiquing, and it just works.
Wow. Dennis, did you think, this is a little different?
Yeah, he I didn't have to show him his stances or anything. He just got in there and everyone knew what he was doing.
Well, that's amazing. These kids these days, they pick up things so easily. They're like little sponges. It works out easily to teach them for sure. Let's see. Who has been your biggest motivator, Dylan?
My dad.
Your dad. Awesome. Our parents do a lot for us, and sometimes we forget to tell them thank you. So this is giving back to Dad too. And don't forget Mom now. Mom has to pack those lunches and make those dinners. You can't be a good pool player unless you got a full tummy. Let's see. Do you have a favorite professional player?
Rob Sires.
Well, big shout out to Mr. Saez. Thank you so much, Rob, for giving this kid those. I heard he gave you a couple of lessons and was helping you out a little bit. Rob's a fantastic guy. Big shout out to Mr. Saez. Thank you so much for the help for Dylan there, Rob.
Anytime he comes up here, he texts or calls and wants to teach him. So,
Well, with this new little peanut he's got going on, he's going to have another pool player on his hands. He's going to have his hands full with her.
he already does.
Let's see. What has been your biggest accomplishment so far, Dylan?
Probably playing alongside Rob and them.
What did you think, Dad, when he got up there against those big guns?
He shot good. He kept his composure, and he didn't let us startle him. He kept doing what he did.
How did you actually introduce yourself to Rob? How did you first interact with him? What did you go do?
You've got to tell us the story. Mom knows something. Spill, Dylan.
I walked up to him and asked if he wanted to gamble. I said I'd give him the 7-8.
And what did Rob say?
He kind of just chuckled.
I'm going to have to ask him about this. He laughed and walked away. What a big chicken. I'm going to have to ask him about this one. Well, that's a definite good way to get somebody's attention, for sure. I like the guts you have on you, kiddo. So that means this kid's not scared of anybody.
Right.
Right.
That's the way it should be. You own your power. Let's see. What has been your biggest lesson so far, Dylan?
Overcoming nerves.
Those nerves will get you. Dad, have you noticed the nerves getting the best of him in certain tournaments?
Yeah, he does. Whenever he gets behind, he likes to kind of drop that head, and you can tell. But here lately, he's been kind of working through it, and he's been doing really good. So,
Mom, have you noticed an attitude one way or the other with him if he's losing or winning, either way?
He's a little bit more cocky when he's winning.
Aren't we all?
He's I'm pretty sure his dad and Kevin and all of them have engraved that in him and Amazon. So I can't really punish him for that, but he used to be really shy and kind of in a little shell, and they taught him how to come out of that shell when you're with the guys and about kind of giving each other grief when they're doing different stuff. And he has definitely caught on to that really fast.
I like that you said that. A lot of children are shy, and it's mostly that's just their nature. You know, we don't really socialize our kids like we used to because of all the chaos in the world. So we try to protect our kids as much as possible. So it's I personally believe that playing pool does help them socialize. It teaches them how to socialize and how to win gracefully and lose gracefully. And, you know, in the past couple of years since he's been playing, have you noticed a growth in his learning, such as emotional? Have you noticed him getting better?
I think he does pretty good. As far as manners wise, we had to instill from when he first started, and that was just the basics of, if you win or you lose, you shake their hand. You tell them good job. You tell them what is it when you first start to play? Good luck.
Good luck.
And just like those little gestures and stuff. Even if as grown adults, some people, they don't acquire that etiquette when they be able to play. And for him to be able to still instill it, even though he may not always get it reciprocated, is just kind of one of the things that we work with him on. No matter whether he wins or loses, he still has to shake their hand and tell them thank you.
He still when he loses, he still gets emotional. He lets the tears fall a little bit, but he's learned to kind of gather himself up, and he's doing a lot better.
It comes with age.
Yeah,
I
it does.
truly believe. I mean, there's been times that I just got brutalized, and I just had to force myself to shake his hand, and I walked outside and lost my mind. I was like, I cannot believe I'm this upset over a pool match.
It happens for sure.
So we all go through that. I think it's a learning experience for most of us. I mean, nobody likes to lose, but somebody has to, and I think that teaches us a humility and a humbleness throughout life. So I think billiards has something to offer all of us, and that's a lot of the reason why I do these podcasts. Is these kids have it together a lot better than some of us do, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dylan, do any of your peers at school play pool?
No.
Not really.
No.
What did they think about you playing pool? Has anybody asked you any questions when they ask, what are you doing this weekend? You're like, I'm going with my dad to a pool tournament. What did they think?
Yeah, usually you just say good luck.
Good luck. Most of the kids ask, how much money did you make? Did they ever ask you that?
Yes, ma'am.
Here a while back, he went on a field trip, and where he went, they had a pool table, and one of the teachers he was with was bragging about how good he was, and Dylan had to show him he wasn't as good as he thought.
I have a question from Mako Tips. This is one of our future sponsors. He wants to know, how many hours a week do you practice, Dylan? On an average, do you think? I mean, I know it depends on if dad's home and what mom's got going on.
Around 3 to 4.
3 to 4. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier as a little time goes by.
Well, he's got a pool table at the house, but he likes basketball, stuff like that. So
you do other things. What other hobbies besides basketball do you do?
Archery.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you bow hunt, Dylan?
Not yet.
Not yet. My dad's big into bow hunting. He's like, you need to find me somebody I can go bow hunting with. I was like, I'm not shooting an animal. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah, he's just now started, probably about the last 6 months, shooting archery, and he's picked up on that pretty quick too.
Very impressive. Dylan, do you play chess at all?
No.
No, not your thing. Okay. I have a comment from the fans. Ronnie Rose says, great show and great topic. Thanks for showing our youth this wonderful game. The game needs more parents like you guys. Kudos.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Moving on. Dylan, let's see. I got to get my computer to behave for 5 seconds. What is one tournament you would like to play in and why?
Derby Classic.
The Derby City. That's a tall order. Do you play Banks or One Pocket or any of those other games? You do.
I play with my dad sometimes.
Impressive. So Dennis, you play a multi-faceted different games.
Yeah. I like to play it all, so I kind of teach him to be able to play all of it.
Crystal, do you play pool as well?
I attempt it. Sometimes it looks like I know what I'm doing, but usually it's just for me to where I love going to watch them play, but it's sometimes a little longer to sit on the sidelines. So the competitive part of me kind of comes in play every now and then. So sometimes I got to put the boy to shame, but
well, us girls have to do something. We can't just sit there and look pretty all the time. We get tired of sitting on the sidelines. Let's see. Do you have a practice regime right now, Dylan? Dennis, do you have something set up for him where he can have something that he can practice on every day, or do you need someone to help you out with that?
It's hard to get him to practice because he gets bored too easy with it.
I think it's just because he's alone, you think?
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
We'll figure something out for sure. We can get you, maybe I can talk to some of my friends and see if we can get you a practice regime where every day it's kind of like schoolwork. You just go in there and you do this one thing every day for about an hour until you get so used to it that you want to do it every day for an hour. Yeah. Practicing is just like everything else. If you make yourself do it, eventually it comes naturally and you're going to want to do it. But that's completely up to you. So you let me know if you want a little help, and I'll see if I can get you some, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mako Tips ask, if I can get it to work, says, who is your role model and why? Mako Tips, he has called out Rob Sias, sir. Rob Sias is on the chopping block. He's after him. Okay. After high school, do you intend on furthering your education?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you plan on doing with your life, Dylan?
Probably becoming a conservation teacher.
That is one tall order. We need more of you guys out there. So thank you so much for thinking about that. The environment thanks you too. Let's see. Mom and Dad, do you think he's handling those pressures when he's on and these tournaments okay for his age?
Yeah, he does. He does a real good job at it.
I mean, he's 13. I mean, we can't expect him to act, completely like an adult. So, Mom, do you feel like he's handling the pressure okay?
He does a lot better than some of the adults. That's the only nice way I can put it, because he really does. Because some of the stuff that we take for granted, he kind of stands back and he's like, well, my mom would have got on to me for that, because he still has parents present. So that kind of plays a factor into, he can look at me and be like, Mom, you'd get on to me for that. I'm like, yes, I would. So
if you think for 1 second that you're disrespecting your parents by doing something, chances are you are. You know Mom and Dad better than I do. And Mom and Dad know you as a person better than you think they do. So yes, expectations, we have high ones for our kids. So if you think for a second Mom and Dad would be upset about you doing something, trust me, they will. I learned that one the hard way. My mom's like, you have driven me insane. And then it didn't help any as I've gotten older. I still drive her nuts. She loves me unconditionally, but I still drive her crazy. Okay. And moving on to the next question. Do you feel, Dylan, that the junior players are getting the exposure that they need?
No.
From the media, from the tournament directors, from sponsorships, venues, all of us. I mean, it's all of our responsibilities to make sure these things are done. Do you feel like your peers and yourself are getting the exposure and the help that you need?
Certain people are. And
I want you to be honest, because this is what they want to hear. They want to hear honesty. Nobody's going to be upset with you. Even your parents are not going to be upset with you. In order for us to change the way this is going, we have to hear from you kids, because it's your lives. We're grown-ups. We do the grown-up tournaments, but you kids, I think you guys need more help. Personally, I think you do. You think so? Okay. And that's what we're going to try to do. Okay, so if you could fast forward 10 years, where do you see yourself?
having a job. Probably still playing pool.
Probably still playing pool. All right. Good answer. And an honest one. I like it. If you could speak to someone with unlimited funds, Dylan, like Donald Trump said, Tracy, take a couple of $100,000 and do with it what you want to. What would you like to see done with that money from your perspective?
Probably what you're doing, helping other people unknown.
Okay. What I was being told so far by many of you kids is maybe help pay some of your entry fees, travel expenses, have more places for you to play pool. Kids on kids, instead of the kids with the adults, the kids having their own little tournaments and things. So I agree with you guys, and hopefully we're going to make a difference with these podcasts.
They definitely need more help with, like, say, with travels and all that. A lot of people just can't afford it.
Right.
Work to where they can't get out and let their kids do that. They definitely need help.
Junior nationals, a lot of those were in Roanoke, Virginia. That's
Right.
like, what, 12, 13 hours?
Yeah. He played last year, I guess. He went to one junior nationals in Illinois.
Oh, no way.
It was in Peoria, Illinois. But that was the closest one he could
Right.
get. The rest of them was just too far away.
Absolutely.
Right.
Especially with working parents, because both of you work, from what I gather. So it makes it a little more difficult for you both to take off work, travel, a day, and then having to travel a day back, and then him, if he makes it to the finals, you have to decide, do I get fired on Monday or what? It's like, well, how much is he going to make if he wins? Because I got to figure out, do I pay my light bill this month or do I not?
Yeah.
So I completely get it. I get it. Dylan, I had asked earlier, do you have any siblings that play pool?
My older sister and my little sister started.
So how old are your sisters?
My older one is 15, just turned 15 on the 7th.
Well, happy birthday to her. And I believe you have a 5-year-old little sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. There she is. There's sister. Well, what do you think about brother being on a podcast, Sissy?
I think it's pretty crazy. He's come a long way for this. So.
Well, we thank you guys for coming out tonight. There's the other one. Oh my goodness, aren't you a cutie pie? Love it, love it. Well, you guys have your arms full, don't you? So, Dylan, what is your next tournament? Do you guys have any plans for an upcoming tournament? None so far?
No, we just normally every now and again we'll go to Kenny's and play up there. Normally Friday nights they have the 3-year-old there at Aces, and he goes and plays in it when I'm home. I'm home every other week. So he goes
Okay.
there. That's
Awesome. I'm going to try to travel up that way once my schedule gets to where I can, and show up in Missouri. I know some kids are eager to get to some of these tournaments as well. So I'm going to try to get up there so I can meet you guys, and I'll give you guys enough notice so you'll know when I'll be up that way. So I'm not like just dropping it.
surprise.
Yeah, I usually do that. Mako Tip says we all need to help these kids get the recognition they deserve and promote more tournaments for them. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. They are too far and few around for them. That's correct. That's absolutely correct. So, Dylan, what's in your case? What kind of cue do you have, sir?
Dennis Whitlock custom. My dad.
Your dad's awesome.
And I have a poison break stick.
And a poison break cue. Fantastic. Are you jumping balls yet?
Yes, ma'am.
You are? Boy, is that one of those 101 lessons? I still can't jump a ball. Hennessy told me it wasn't any of my business to learn how to jump a ball yet. He said, you've got those ankles down, Pat. You can kick at anything. What do you need to jump for? My goodness. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions for our young gun out of Missouri? No, nothing yet. Okay. Let's see. I know I have some other things. Have you been out to any of these tournaments to see any of these professional players, Dylan, besides Smoking Aces?
When we went to Peoria, Illinois, Chris Robinson was there.
Okay. Ron Hold or Robinson?
Yes.
Right.
Rhino.
He was probably Robinson at the time.
He
Because I think
was.
he recently changed his name. Yes, within the past 2 years. I met Chris in last year at the Texas Open. He's been a very good asset to have in my life. He's been helping me out on some of these kids stuff. So
He does a lot for the kids.
he does. He's an amazing man, and him and April Larson are definitely in the forefront for these kids, and they're very much appreciated, just like Rob Sias and several of the others. Do you have a player that you would like to have a photo of?
Probably Shane.
Shane Van Boning. I might be able to do that for you, sir, because I did take a few photos of Mr. Van Boning a couple of times. So I will ship a couple of those over to your dad and your mom, and you let me know which one you would like to have. That is me saying thank you for being on our podcast tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. It's not signed, so you'll have to carry it with you whenever you and dad and mom travel outside. Take it with you, and if you run into Shane again, I'm sure he'll sign it for you. He's usually really good about those kind of things. I have a fantastic photo of Rob Sias.
Us too. It's currently on our wall.
Right behind you. Look at that. Those are awesome.
Him and Justin.
So you guys already have a wall of fame. We're gonna have to put Dylan up there on that wall.
He's got a $5 bill here that Justin Bergman signed where he played Justin a race to 3 and Dylan beat him, so he beat him for $5. So,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, you snapped off one off of Bergman. Congratulations, buddy. Any other fantastic stories? Tell me your best story. I know you have one. You have to have one fantastic story. I'm all about the stories. Dad, can you remember a story that
Not really. I mean,
not really?
Mom probably remembers them more than I do. I don't know.
He got to meet some of his favorite pool players at Aces. You got to meet Cooper, and you got to meet Timmy.
Oh, so you have met Lambert and Cooper Lambert and Timmy Cossey.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
yes.
friends of his that he actually got to meet and play with also, and he also got to do juniors with them on a couple of their games.
Awesome.
And then he wanted getting to meet Monroe Jones. He's just like would you consider him local?
He's Monroe. I don't know if you know Monroe Jones or not.
I'm not familiar with him, but the more time I spend over in the state of Missouri, I end up picking up hints of different types of people. So I'm always nosy, and that's probably the reason why I'm doing this. I'm the nosiest human being on the planet. I like to find those diamonds in the rough, those people that you don't hear about in the news media. It's like, well, what's so special about you? And then you hear these amazing stories about these people. Mr. Vernon, for one. I mean, you would have never known how much that man has contributed to the state of Missouri over the years. He's a phenomenal man.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I know you have a lot of stuff to do. If you'll hang on after the podcast, I want to talk to you just for a few minutes. If there's any other questions for my young gun out of the state of Missouri, it's time to ask. Nothing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you guys out, and I'm going to do my closing remarks, and I'll be right back. So hang on. It takes a village to raise a pool player. And if you don't believe me, look at some of these kids. You have amazing players such as Shane Van Boning. He's been playing since he was able to reach the pool table. You have Sky Woodward that's been playing since he was a young person. You also have players like Jonathan Hennessy that played when they were younger. Shane Wolford is another one. He's one amazing player and a gentleman to boot. Fantastic people. Billy Thorpe. You have all these amazing pool players, and they started off as juniors like Joey Gray and Chris Reinhold, April Larson. I can keep going. Shane McMahon. They also needed help back then, and that's the reason why we're doing this tonight. I will keep doing these podcasts and hoping that there's sponsors out there that are watching, because these kids need a little bit of help. They need a little more help. They need help from the sponsors, the venues, Gatorade, Red Bull, any of those places. If you guys are watching, these kids really are eager to get in there and show the United States what they have. And they're willing to do the work, and they're willing to do what you are asking them to do, which is promote the sport in the best way they possibly can. So all we're asking for is a chance and an opportunity to do so. So with that being said, I'm going to run Dylan's video one more time so you guys can remember what this amazing kid looks like. His family has been supporting him in his dream for the past few years, so we want to try to help him out. So if there's any sponsors out there, please contact myself. You can get in touch with me at tracylerma.insidepoolmag@gmail.com, Autumn Grusella, or Nick DeLeon. We also have Facebook pages. So if there are any sponsors out there that would love to sponsor one of our kids or help us with putting on a tournament, or feel the need to put on one themselves, or opening a new pool room and are willing to allow children in there, get in touch with me. I'll show up. So tonight, guys, thank you so much for watching. Without our fans, there would be no reason for us to be here. So we appreciate you guys supporting our kids. So this is Dylan. One more time, guys. Thanks for watching.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life.